Okay, so today what we're going to talk about, we're going to deal with a greenhouse style roof. So what we have is we have a standard roof with a 912 slope and a 36-foot span. And what we're going to do with this roof is we're actually going to add to it, we're actually going to cut out a section of the roof and put in a greenhouse type roof. Oh, you're right, it is 1312. I don't know where I got the 9. It is a 1312 standard roof. And we have here, this actually does center at the building. And each of those slopes there are, the vertical wall and the slope are tangents to the circle, which means they make right angles. This wall is 4 feet tall. This radius here can be found. We have an arc length A that we will find. We have the length of this piece up here, which is M. Then we have a slope P that we're going to find there. We're also going to find a height H, which is the height to this point. Then we have a whole ton of angles. Alpha, theta, phi, theta, omega, sigma, beta. We're going to find all those. So let's get started. What can we find here? Well, the first thing I'm going to find is I'm going to find the overall height, bless you, of this thing. I've got my 1312 slope. What's going to go over here? 18, half of the 36. If we cross multiply and divide here, we get 19.5 feet. So this overall height is 19.5 feet tall. So what that allows me to find then is the length of the slope here, which is going to be the square root of 18 squared plus 19.5 squared. Let's clear that out. We'll try that again. So I'm at 26.54 feet. From here now, let's see what we can figure out. I want to find the angle alpha here. How do I find angle alpha? I just use the inverse tangent of the slope. I could use 19.5 over 18, but I'm just going to use the slope. Second tangent of 13 over 12, which gives us 47.29 degrees. So I have those angles. That gives me this angle right here of how much? 42.71 degrees. And then, of course, phi has to also be 47.29, right? So both alpha and phi, this one has to also be 47.29. Because it also has to be complementary to this one, right? So 47.29 subtracted from 90 gives us 42.71. Well, 90 minus 42.71 gives us back the 47.29 for this angle. You look confused, Mike. Both phi and alpha here are 47.29. So alpha equals phi equals 47.29 degrees. So now I can find r up here. How can I find that? Well, because I'm looking at a triangle here. This is 42.71 degrees. This is 4 feet. This is r. So that's going to be a tangent of 42.71 degrees equals r over 4. So that's going to be 4 times the tangent of 42.71. 3.69 is our radius. Now, I also now want to find this side of this triangle. It's very important that I find that side of the triangle. And that is going to be found by doing the square root of 4 squared plus 3.69 squared. Now, I'm just leaving it in my calculator here. So I'm going to do second square root of that answer squared plus 4 squared. 5.44 is that length. Why is that important? Well, because if this piece is 5.44, this piece has to be 26.54 minus 5.44. It's 21.10. Obviously not drawn to scale. But what I now know is I now know enough pieces of this triangle here to work with it. Let me draw that triangle. This is a right angle here. This I just found to be 21.10 feet. I'll try to draw that a little bit better. This is my 3.69 feet for the radius of my circle. So now I can find missing angles, missing sides. I can find this side here. That's going to be the square root of 21.10 squared minus 3.69 squared. Why is it minus?
Because it's the hypotenuse.
Yeah, I have the hypotenuse and I'm looking for one of the legs. So square root of 21.1 squared minus 3.69 squared. 20.77. That is our length M. Now I've got angles omega and beta here. I can find either one of them. It doesn't matter which. I'm going to find omega. I'm going to use the inverse cosine. Cosine is adjacent, which is the 3.69, over hypotenuse, which is the 21.10. Giving us 79.93 degrees. Which means beta is going to be 10.07 degrees. So I've got omega and beta. I still need to find theta. Let's take a look at theta. If this is the slope of my roof, I have this angle, which is the 79.93 that I just found. I have this angle here, which was 47.29. So then, yeah, it's 180 minus those two, isn't it? Giving us 52.78. Any questions so far? Here's my task for you right now. Find A, which is the length of that arc. You know this angle is 52.78, and you know this radius is 3.69 feet. So quickly in your notes, find A, the length of the arc. The area of this is just going to be the area of the whole circle, which will be pi times 3.69 squared times that angle of 52.78 over 360, which comes out to be how much? How much is it? I'm sorry. Why did I go area? Arc length. I am sorry. Arc length should be pi times 2 times 3.69 times the angle of 52.78 over 360. That really changes that, doesn't it? What is it? 3.4? Is that what everybody comes up with? 3.399, so 3.40 feet. Okay, very good. So now all we need to find now is we need to find h and we need to find sigma. And we need to find the slope. Well, to find the slope, let's find sigma. Sigma is this one right here. That angle for this angle right here. That angle and the slope angle are going to go together, or the slope. Once we know that angle, we know the slope. Well, how do we know that angle? Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to draw in the rest of this triangle here. And I probably should have drawn this down where it wasn't going to overlap that other crap. Okay, so how do I know this angle? Well, up in here, I found this angle here to be how much? 10.07 degrees. If I draw this vertically, how much does this angle have to be? Nope, that was off of our heel angle. If this is 47.29, this has to be 42.71 degrees. So if I'm looking now at this as a complete triangle, this whole angle is 52.78 degrees. I'm combining those two angles. Which means sigma down here is 90 minus 52.78, or 37.22 degrees. So there's sigma. Why is there a line through it? Because sigma just should have been up just a couple of notches higher. But. So now then to find my P, my slope. Remember the tangent of the slope, the tangent of the angle is the slope. So the tangent of 37.22 is going to equal P over 12. So I'm going to do it like this. tangent of 37.22 times 12. Whoops, try that again. 12 times tangent 37.22. 9.12 is my slope. That's P. Now the only thing that's left to find is H, and I'm going to leave that for you guys to find as part of your homework. So that's your homework. Part of your homework is find H.